Hey there, this is Niels Beardfoot, and today we are creating a bat from leather. Of course, first comes the pattern printing and then comes the transference on the leather. We're using 2.5mm or 6-ounce wedge tanned leather. Transfer it on and cut it out. There are a bunch of deep inner corners here, so use a hole punch to punch these to make the life for you easier. The eyes are even a bit more extreme, so if you have a rounded curved knife like this one, which is usually used for wood cutting, that would be useful too. Next we can bevel all the edges. Now we can moisten the leather so we can emboss it. Transfer all the grey lines and, if not happened so far, the sewing holes, and mark these on the leather. And then punch them. Next, with our swivel knife we can trace the line and cut them open, and then afterwards use a beveler to get a deep imprint in these lines. To give the wing skin a little bit more depth, I use a stylus, and if you don't have one you can just use the blunt end of a fork here and trace some lines in the leather. Next we are up for dyeing, and I'm not that big of a huge fan of only black, so I start with a teal base coat. And after that I apply some black with an airbrush. With a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper I carefully remove some of the black dye just to give it more character. Apply some resist on the leather to protect it and the dye from rubbing off. Also put it on the flash side because that makes the dark a little bit more deep. Also on the edges, so you can use it for burnishing. Now we can start to assemble, and first we got this little strap here that we want to put on with a rivet. Next we got also some pressure buttons that we want to attach here. With this you can open and close the wings as well as the feet to attach it to whatever you like. To bring it into shape we want to moisten it completely. Let it set for around half an hour and then we can start to bring everything into place, like bending the legs here. Mainly it's important for the head, and here I show you where exactly we want to sew together these pieces. Important for sewing this like we do now is that it's not completely moist, so really give it some drying time, but make sure it's still moist so you bring it into the shape by sewing that you need. Next we can attach the lash here in the center of the body with a rivet as well. And when we close the wings we are practically done here. Giving the face a little bit more shape, bring everything together as well as the wings, and then we are done with this one. You can use the bat if you want to hold things like this burnisher, for example. But there's also another version that I want to show you, and here note the only difference is that it has no round holes here, there will be stitching holes. And what I want to do is add my knife sheath in there. It's a very basic design and I simply put it in there and sew it along on one edge. As you can see here, this one is sewn and this one is loose. Why? Because it's easier. So for this I don't use a pressure button here, I simply sew these three parts together. This creates a bigger opening in the center of the bed for stuff to put in. You can't open it afterwards, but that's fine with me. To secure everything safely, I also add a strap here, and this one gets actually a pressure button. Now, not only my knife fits in there, but also a spoon and a fork. So my whole eating dish fits in here. So the second version will also be included in the pattern, but as you might think, without the knife sheath and the strap, because they have to be fit individually. And this is it. I got three versions here, from right to left, the regular size version and the regular version. Then the center we got a little bit smaller version of the regular version, and then on the left we got the one with the more space in the center for the knife. I'm very pleased with these beds. They look really nice and you can just put them on the wall and store some smaller things in them and make it so much more decorative. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out my other videos as well as this pattern, as well as all the other patterns in my shop, linked down below. And see you guys next time. Have a great day.